Hello everyone, this is JS Reviews, and today we'll be talking about some of my favorite albums of 2017 so far. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and let's just go ahead and get right started. I started the channel earlier in June, and I haven't really been able to talk about a lot of these albums that I adore that came out this year, so that's partially why I'm making this video, and also I think these albums could really use some more attention. I thought the bigger bands this year have kind of disappointed me. And in my opinion, the smaller bands have really taken over, and they have really been the spotlight of 2017 so far. So let's go ahead and kick off this list with Broadside. So the first album we're going to talk about is the new album by Broadside. It's called Paradise, and these guys are a lot like State Champs, except a little bit more poppy, in my opinion. They're a pop-punk band, and the drums are really hard-hitting, just like State Champs. The guitars sound really happy. All these songs are just kind of they're nice jams. This album's not perfect, though. There's a lot of songs I don't really care for, like the acoustic ones and the ukulele one at the end, but the rest of it's pretty great. So I'm going to go ahead and say that my top 3 tracks are Paradise, Hidden Colors, and Puzzle Pieces. Puzzle Pieces was the lead single. So if you're into pop punk, definitely check out this album, and I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Maybe I'll escape this prison in my headspace if I just speak my mind.
So the new album by Vinyl Theater is called Origami, and I really love this album cover that we have here. Probably my favorite album cover of the year so far. These guys are an indie pop rock band. In my opinion, these guys sound like if The Killers and early 21 Pilots had a child together. That's what Vinyl Theater are, and I feel like these guys deserve a lot more recognition. This album is pretty great. There's only 9 songs on it, and there's, with the exception of a couple that I don't really care of, like the song The Island. I thought that song was pretty meh. The rest is pretty flawless. So, great album by this indie pop rock band. Definitely go check it out if you're into that kind of thing. These guys are on Fueled by Ramen, same record label as 21 Pilots. Fall Out Boy are on there now. All Time Low are on there now. A lot of these formerly rock bands that turned pop are on Fueled by Ramen, but Vinyl Theater have always been this, and kind of same with 21 Pilots. They've kind of always been the same type of thing. So, yeah, definitely check out this album for sure. The musicianship of this album is really atmospheric in a way, and I really like that. So my top 3 tracks are My Fault, 30 Seconds, and Pull Your Weight. And I will give this album a 4 out of 5.
So sit down, shut off. I don't know how I'll let you eat so long, 'cause right now you're
Alright, now we're getting into the good stuff. The next album we're talking about is Adornment by Grayscale. This album is amazing. Everything except maybe one song is flawless on this album. Slept is my least favorite song on this album. However, this album is great. These guys are they're just kind of straight rock, but with a pop-punk undertone with hard-hitting drums, and their guitars are more post-hardcore-ish. This band signed with Fearless Records later this year, and I really think that's really big for them. I really hope these guys get popular. This album is amazing. This album has it all, from the anthemic songs like Atlantic to the acoustic song like Forever Yours and Slept. Slept I don't really care for, but Forever Yours is great. And then we have the really heartfelt ending track, If I Ever See You Again. So my top 3 tracks, in my opinion, are Atlantic, Beautiful Things. Beautiful Things is the one with the more post-hardcore guitar. Absolutely euphoric guitars on that one. And my third of the favorites would be Echo's Carry On. I really like the guitars at the beginning. Remind me of Knuckle Puck a lot, and that's really good because Knuckle Puck are my favorite modern pop-punk band, and I'm really hoping for a new album by them this year. So anyway, Grayscale, 4.5 out of 5. The next album we're going to talk about is Make the Best of It by Have Mercy. These guys are emo alt-rock band, kind of like Moose Blood if you're into them. If you like Moose Blood, you'll definitely like this album and the rest of Have Mercy's discography. They also signed to Hopeless along with Moose Blood. The song Coexist from this album has really gotten a lot of views on YouTube, and I really hope it gets more. Like, I think it's up to 200,000 now. It deserves so much more, but I'm really proud of them for kind of coming out of the shadows and putting themselves out there on Hopeless Records. This album is an absolute piece of art from start to finish. This is another one of those albums where there's one song that I don't really care for, and that's the song Disagree. I thought that song was a little bit cringy, but the rest of the album is just flawless in my opinion. The opening track, Smoke and Lace, really sets the mood, and then to massive songs like Coexist, which was the lead single, and then even the more heartfelt ones like Ghost or Baby Grand. And then you have Good Christian Man towards the end of the album. Another great song. I love the chorus on that one. My top 3 tracks are Coexist, Baby Grand, and Ghost. Ghost is definitely the most emotional song on the album, and Song of the Year material for sure. So another 4.5 out of 5. The next album we're talking about is Emperor of Sand by Mastodon. This is definitely the best heavy metal album of the year so far. This album is pretty damn flawless. Every song on this album is amazing. These guitar riffs that they use, I don't know how they come up with them, and especially a lot of the chord changes on songs like Roots Remain are really impressive. A lot of these songs, especially Roots Remain in particular, you think you know where the song's going, and then it just takes a big left turn, and you just don't know what to expect from this song. Even coming back to the songs, like listening to them multiple times, is quite an adventure, and I just can't praise this album enough. Show Yourself was the lead single. I'm really glad that song is kind of getting some radio play. Like, I listened to 105.7 The Point out of St. Louis. It's like their alt-rock station in St. Louis, Missouri, and they play this song quite a bit, and I'm really happy for them. It's definitely a radio-friendly one, but I really like it. And every song on this album is flawless. My top 3 tracks would be Steam Breather. I really like how that one's structured. Roots Remain, and Jaguar God. Jaguar God is the closing song to this album, and it is Song of the Year material. The guitar solo at the end is one of my favorite guitar solos of all time in Jaguar God. So this album is my first 5 out of 5 of the year. Now we have 2 more albums we're talking about, and both of these albums are 5 out of 5s.
In the backseat of a taxi, when you told me we were only 2 punch-drunk souls out tangled in the wind.
My second favorite album of 2017 so far is Lovely Little Lonely by the Maine. Now, the Maine are an amazing band. They're kind of an emo alt-rock band, but they're a little bit softer and kind of have some pop influences. They toured with All Time Low over in Australia, which was pretty cool. I really love 2015's American Candy, and I think 2017's Lovely Little Lonely is even better, in my opinion. The song Black Butterflies and Deja Vu on this album is my favorite song of the year so far. A lot of them are upbeat, some of them are a little bit down, but some of them are a little bit slower toward the end of the album, but I just love this album as a whole. This is one of the albums that you kind of have to listen to from start to finish, because they have 3 interludes on this album called Lovely, Little, and Lonely, which is the title of the album, and they all flow into the next song perfectly. Ever since I heard the lead single Bad Behavior, I was instantly hooked, and I was so ready for this album. Definitely worth checking out. Honestly, any music fan, I think, would like this album. So my top 3 tracks, it's really hard for me to do top 3 on this one because they're all just so great, but I think my top 3 are Black Butterflies and Deja Vu, Do You Remember the Other Half of 23, and I'm going to go with How Do You Feel, the closing track. That song is pretty fantastic. So 5 out of 5 for sure. And finally, my favorite album of 2017 so far is... Eternity in Your Arms by Creeper. Creeper are definitely really making a name for themselves. They're on Warped Tour right now. I'm so proud of them. They have a lot of fans in the US. This album it's like My Chemical Romance but punk. More punk. It's like if My Chemical Romance and AFI, it's an Alkaline Trio, if all three of them had a child together, which is like, disgusting, but if Alkaline Trio, AFI, and MCR had a child, that's what Creeper would be. Their lead singer, Will Gold, is one of the best in the business, I think. Everything he's done on this album is just flawless, from the huge hard-hitting songs like Suzanne and Black Rain and Poison Pens to the really heartfelt songs like Crickets and Misery. Crickets is actually sung by their keyboard player Hannah, and I think she is a really talented female vocalist. She sings backup on Room 309, the opening track Black Rain, and she has her own song Crickets, and it's kind of a country song a little bit, but it's really good. It fits really well with the album. Every song on this album is flawless, all the way from Black Rain to the closing track I Choose to Live, which has some Let It Be by the Beatles elements in it. It's just amazing album. The guitars are great, the drumming is really hard-hitting, really steady. Will Gold's voice is second to none. Keyboard playing by Hannah. And everything on this album is just the perfect album. I definitely think it's going to end up being my #1 by the end of the year, but we'll see. There's a lot to come this year. So I'm definitely giving this a 5 out of 5. And my top 3 tracks would be Black Rain, Misery, and Hiding with Boys. Hiding with Boys was the second single released. I really like that one. So definitely check this album out if you're into like MCR or AFI or Alkaline Trio or any of those bands. Definitely check this one out. So there you have it. There were some albums that came close to being on here, like the new Paramore, the new Harry Styles, stuff like that. Those came close, but these albums are just amazing. 2017 has been a great year so far. And again, Wolves by Rise Against wasn't on here because I already gave an in-depth review on it, but that definitely would have been on this had I not reviewed it. So expect that album again on my top 15 albums of the year. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.